All right, so in this video, we're going to be working with this Festo handling station over here on the left. We have the handling station and a sorting station over here. We're just using the handling station. It's connected up over to a Compact Logix PLC. You can see the model number right there. And the full model number, actually, it's a 1769 L24ER-QB1B PLC that we're connected up to. You can see the blue cable ran down to the Ethernet port here out from our switch, and our network switch is then connected. We have a Ethernet cable going down to our PC down here as well. That's how we're communicating with it. So we're using Compact Logix rather than Control Logix like we have over here and in our previous labs. So the way that this works is we have a sensor down here that when we set a widget in there, it's gonna close the switch and tell the PLC to start running this arm, and the handling station is going to come over. It's going to pick up that widget and then set it over here on the conveyor. You can see I've got it set right here. We'll demonstrate that right now. I'll set this there right now, and you see the arm come over, pick it up, go down and set it on the conveyor. And the key thing, I want you to watch the motions, how it goes over, stops, the arm comes down, picks it up, goes back up, moves over, goes straight down, opens up, straight back up, and then over. There's no, it's moving as it's going up, because if it does, the widget and stuff tends to get caught right there. So, and it loses it. So we need to take note of that. The other thing, the other stuff that you'll need is the controller tags here. So I've listed all the controller tags here in our project. The first 5 are all inputs, the last 4 are all outputs. So the outputs are used to run that arm, and these inputs are all statuses on position of that arm, and if there's something in the jaws of it or anything like that. So if I actually go over to monitor tags, the status of all those switches right now, you can see they're all a 0 right now except for end. And end is this switch tucked right in here. You can see it's glowing orange right there. And so when the arm is covering that switch, that means it's in the end position, and so that's why it's closed. These would also close when it gets to these positions. So we have a position switch over here, a position switch over here as well. This switch down here would close as well when there's a widget in there. So just to go over these switches now, loaded here would become a 1. Loaded would become a 1 when we set a widget here in front of that optical sensor. So that would then close. And this is the loaded switch right here. The other switches that we need to pick position is this switch up here. So once it's come over, tell it to stop moving, stop going to the left, and go down and pick it up. Drop is this switch right up over here on the right. So that's when we want it to drop down and let go of the widget. So that would close. And we went over grab right here. Grab there's a switch right here, an optical switch in the jaws. So that's going to tell the jaws to close once it's come down, and that switch would close and say, okay, the jaws can now close. And then left and right. So left, when we energize that output, it'll move this to the left, and when we energize right, it will move it to the right. If they're both on, it'll just probably stay there and fight, so we only want one on at a time. Down and open, the last 2 outputs. So down is going to cause this pneumatic piston to push this down, and when you hit open, the jaws will open far enough to pick up the widget. And then when open is de-energized, it would close, and then you'd want it to go up. So some of the other stuff here that I've set is some timers. So just to kind of go over this again, I'll put this into position. So there at the end, you could kind of, the pneumatics, you could hear them go click, 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 click. Those are all half-second timers. All the timers that are used in here are half a second. So the timer, this will come down. So half a second down, half a second open, half a second up, and then over. So since there's no switches over here to tell it that it's all the way down, we just need to push the piston down for half a second, open the jaws for half a second, and then let it go up for half a second before it starts moving over. Because if we don't let it go up for half a second, then what it'll actually do is it'll start moving to the left as it's going up, and it'll knock the widget off. So we want it to go straight up for half a second before it starts coming over. Over here, actually, I believe there's no timers. I'll just double check. It goes down. Yeah, so it's gonna go down until it detects the widget with this sensor right here. And then once it detects it, it's gonna close the jaws and pick it up. So when it's going up that it has that half a second. Down, it goes up for half a second. And then all the other half-second timers are over here. So there's 1 half-second timer over here when it's going up, and then the other half-second timers, there's 3 over here. 1 to go down, 1 to open, and then 1 to go straight back up before it comes over. So hopefully you have enough information here to write your program now. I used all sequential function chart for doing this programming, but whatever I assign in class, that's the programming language you will use to write this and get this logic working. Hopefully that all makes sense.